utterly exhausted. But now I had a handle on everything. I was ready to start anew, begin the process yet again like every other mad straight woman, always assuming the next man will be different. And I was bored. I hate that most of all, that I was bored. My whole life in pieces because I didn't buy a good enough vibrator. So you get to like them back, and that's a match? Yes, if you gave me my phone, I could show you. But it was no use. He was already at it. You know, we have different tastes. You keep swiping no on people I think are cute. But Quinn kept the phone. Babe, I have better taste than you. Just trust me. And I did. In a few minutes, he passed back my phone. He'd only liked 3 people back. A tall, built guy with too many selfies, a dweeby-looking dude with excellent education credentials but barely any neck, and him, Tom Newbern. Older, the oldest end of the spectrum I'd set, 37, 10 years older than I was then. Square jaw, slicked back dark hair, shapely lips, 1 child, liberal. Within minutes, he'd messaged me, and it occurred to me, as my phone buzzed with a notification, that there was no way to tell when he'd liked me first, that he could have been waiting for months since the moment I'd first logged off the app. And just like that, he pounced the moment I liked him back. Are you a fan of Eyes Wide Shut? And that made me smile, because that was my answer to the prompt, what's one thing you can never stop talking about? And I'd said, Nicole Kidman's poison green Galliano for Dior dress from the 1997 Oscars. It was a cheeky answer for a straight woman to give. It easily filtered out the men who would automatically dismiss me as a fashion chick and swipe left. I typed out a reply, then deleted it. Typed it out again. Quinn wasn't paying attention to me anymore. He was back on his own phone. I didn't want his opinion anyway. Yes, but I prefer To Die For if you really want vintage Kidman. That was the beginning of the end, I guess. 2. Present day. In my mother's guest bedroom, all I do is sit and think. Mom never had great taste, and somehow, even in this gorgeous landscape with a view of the mountains, the house itself seems stale and brittle. The cherry-patterned wallpaper is garish, yet somehow faded, though she's only lived in this house for a few years. The curtains are brown and made of hemp, thin as well as ugly. The kissing swan's lamp on the bedside table is one she found at a flea market. One swan's eye is chipped. I'm used to staring at her, the one-eyed swan. I hardly leave this room some days, and I know she isn't judging me, like even my closest friends are. After all that happened in the city, I needed to escape. I'd grown up in Westchester, a breath away from Manhattan, but when my parents divorced in my early 20s, my dad moved to Seattle, and my mom sold the Westchester house and bought the smaller one farther north in the Hudson Valley. Mom was almost too happy to take me in. My brothers were long gone, Oliver living abroad and Theo in the Midwest. I had collapsed at her feet the moment I stepped over her threshold, choking on the sage she had used to cleanse the house. She had hugged me, told me it was all going to be okay, patted my cheek, sprayed my pillow with lavender for a good night's sleep. And it worked. It wasn't until a few nights later, when we were having a late-night cup of expensive, loose-leafed tea, that I remembered why I rarely came up here. Why my mother, with all her supposed good intentions and new-agey vibes, could be such a damn bitch. She laid her hand on mine. I know how you're feeling, baby. No one was happy with me after what happened with your father. I was public enemy number 1. Remember your brothers didn't talk to me for 3 whole months afterward? She clucked her tongue, and I quickly slipped my hand out from under hers, anger simmering at my temples. You don't have any idea how I feel. You knowingly cheated on Dad with Mike. Mike knowingly cheated on Linda with you. You and Dad got a divorce, but you did not have fucking blood on your hands. I scraped my chair back, the tea wobbling over and spilling onto the ugly...